Hi, Professor Lingerfeld. At the beginning of the semester, we had discussed building a Tableau dashboard based off of some COVID data for an honors option assignment for computing technologies. So I went ahead and built this dashboard. This is based off of some data specifically for India. The reason why I chose India based off of the other data sets is because my data source I used was Kaggle.com, and the most recent data source that was on there, this was data source was as of today. Actually, the numbers were updated as of today. It was only on India data, so I didn't really want to pull something for the U.S. that was like 3 months old. I'd rather just be as up to date as possible. And obviously, kind of airports sound like a pretty interesting area, as most people have been traveling for the holidays and probably will be as well as holidays like Christmas come up towards the end of the year. So this kind of popped out as an interesting data set, and India has such a high population with, unfortunately, not the best medical, I guess, look out there. So this is kind of an interesting data set. So also the reason why I wanted to create this screencast-o-matic is because I didn't want it to seem as though I just had pulled this data set off of Tableau Public and started playing it around and sending you over a JPEG screenshot. For whatever reason, I can't save this as a Tableau workbook. I think it's because I don't have a license with Tableau anymore, so I just pulled this up and started creating this. But anyway, going into the data to begin, this the top graph shows a breakdown of India's top 10 states with the highest infection rate. So this was actually a calculated field that I had created. I basically just took the population divided by the amount of cases to get a number for what that highest infection rate would look like. So as we can see, this is the top 10 states ranked. Bihar was rated the highest with, I won't even try to pronounce that name, airport, and then it obviously funnels down from there. The main ones I want to mention, though, that stand out are West Bengal and Himachal Pradesh. Just as keeping these in mind, these are the top 10 out of about 65 different states, which are interesting to note. Going on to the next two, so the top 10 Indian airports with the highest recovery rate, so basically the most people that are saved. It seems Assam was one of the best ones for that. And surprisingly, Bihar had the highest amount of infection rate, but also the highest recovery rate. So a 0.97% likelihood of being recovered. Pretty interesting to see that pop up. And as you can tell, West Bengal and Himachal are not on here at all. But on the next graph, top 10 Indian airports with the highest death rate. We don't see Bihar obviously on here, Uttar Pradesh on here as well. We don't see any of these states, but the next ones we do see are Gujarat. Excuse my pronunciations. So pretty significant high amount of infection rates and high amount of death rates. And then West Bengal, as previously mentioned, and Himachal Pradesh, but also UTEC as well. So quite a few of these notable ones up here. It seems pretty interesting that Bihar has the highest total of all the Indian states, but also one of the better recovery rates. Pretty interesting to note. In the tooltip in here, I just basically wrote that this rate illustrates the population divided by that amount of cases. This is basically just a quick breakdown of the sheet. I can kind of go through and show you how I created everything. So this was just a lollipop chart that I created. So created the dual axis on the calculation that I had, and then obviously played around with what the top part would be. So I just chose the circle and the bar graph just to make it look like a lollipop chart, and then added the tooltip as well just to show the comments. For some reason, my screencast-o-matic is in the way. Let's see if I can go to the side. Oh yeah, so for this one, basically same idea. Did the dual axis with the death rate as well, and just did a similar chart. I chose the red X's just because it is death rates, obviously a little gruesome. And then for the recovery rate, I chose green. I just decided to go with the Gantt line just to mix it up a little bit, but basically that's just a bit. And then I created a table, a 2-day calculation. So basically did the date. So this is up to date. So obviously when it's November 20th, tomorrow, this will update to a new date. And then here we are. So please let me know if you have any questions or if this satisfies what we had discussed. But thank you and enjoy your break.